How many times have you found yourself sitting there stuck, knowing what you need to do, but just can't get yourself to move? You want to take action. You want to feel productive. You want to live at a higher level, but something holds you back. You feel lazy. You feel drained. And the worst part, you beat yourself up over it. But here's the truth. Laziness isn't your identity. It's a state. And just like any state, it can be changed. Right now, I'm going to give you 7 powerful Japanese principles that will completely shift the way you operate. These aren't just theories. They're proven, actionable tools that high performers in Japan have been using for centuries, and today, they're yours. Kaizen, small wins create big change. Too often, we set massive goals and expect overnight success. But Japan thrives on a different principle, Kaizen. This is the art of continuous improvement. Instead of overwhelming yourself, commit to small, incremental changes. Want to wake up earlier? Start by waking up just 5 minutes earlier each day. Want to get in shape? Start with 1 push-up. The key is momentum. Small improvements compound, and before you know it, what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. Shoshin, the power of a beginner's mind. One of the biggest reasons we feel stuck is because we assume we already know. We get trapped in limiting beliefs. But in Japan, there's a concept called Shoshin, the beginner's mind. It means dropping your ego, staying curious, and always being open to learning. When you embrace Shoshin, suddenly challenges become opportunities. Every day, ask yourself, what can I learn today? Because when you approach life with an open mind, growth is inevitable, and laziness disappears. Ikigai. Find a reason to wake up. If you ever wonder why some people seem unstoppable while others struggle to get out of bed, the answer is Ikigai. Your reason for being. This is about aligning your passion, your skills, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. When you find your Ikigai, motivation stops being a struggle because you have a deep, driving force pulling you forward. Stop chasing empty goals. Find the thing that excites you, that makes you feel alive. Because when you wake up with purpose, laziness doesn't stand a chance. The Pomodoro technique, Japanese style efficiency. Ever notice how the hardest part is just getting started? Your brain tricks you into thinking you need hours of motivation to get something done. But here's the hack. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Commit to working with full focus, then take a 5-minute break. In Japan, workers are trained to focus intensely in short bursts instead of dragging out tasks for hours. This prevents burnout and keeps your energy levels high. Test it out today. Work for 25 minutes, then rest. Watch your productivity skyrocket. Shinrin-Yoku, recharge with nature. Most people don't realize that laziness is often just mental fatigue. You're not actually lazy. Your brain is overloaded. In Japan, they practice Shinrin-Yoku, or forest bathing. It's the science of reconnecting with nature to refresh your mind and body. Step outside, take a deep breath, feel the sun, hear the wind, and let nature reset your brain. Even a 10-minute walk in a park can restore your focus and get you back into action. Harahachibu, the energy optimization rule. Ever feel sluggish after eating? That's because most people overeat and overload their system. The Japanese follow Hara Hachibu, which means eat until you're 80% full. This keeps energy levels high, prevents crashes, and ensures you stay sharp throughout the day. What you eat affects how you perform. Start fueling your body like a high achiever. Eat for energy, not for indulgence. Now here's your challenge. You've just learned 7 life-changing Japanese hacks, but knowledge means nothing without action. So I want you to pick just one of these principles and apply it today. Start small. Take control. Because the moment you take action, you step out of laziness and into momentum. This is your time. No more waiting, no more excuses. You've got this. Too often, people set massive goals and expect instant results. They wake up one day fired up with motivation and decide they're going to change their entire life overnight. They tell themselves, from now on, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., work out every day, read an entire book every week, and completely transform my habits. And for the first day or two, They're on fire, but then what happens? Reality kicks in, the excitement fades. They miss one workout, then another. They hit snooze on their alarm. They get frustrated, feel like they failed, and fall right back into old patterns. This is why so many people struggle. They try to change too much, too fast, and when they can't sustain it, they blame themselves. But the problem isn't them. The problem is their approach. In Japan, they don't think like this. Instead of relying on bursts of motivation, they focus on something far more powerful, Kaizen. This is the philosophy of continuous, gradual improvement. It's about making small, consistent changes that over time create massive results. Think about it like this. If you improve by just 1% every day, that doesn't seem like much. But over time, those tiny improvements compound. After a week, a month, a year, you're operating at a completely different level. It's like water slowly carving through rock. It doesn't happen overnight, but with enough time and persistence, it creates something extraordinary. The key is momentum. If you start small, your brain doesn't resist it. If you try to wake up 3 hours earlier than usual, your body fights back. But if you wake up just 5 minutes earlier each day, it barely feels like a change. Do that for a week and suddenly you're waking up 35 minutes earlier without even noticing it. The same principle applies to everything. If you want to get in shape, don't start with a 1-hour workout that leaves you exhausted. Start with just one push-up. One push-up is so small, so easy that your brain won't resist it. But here's the magic. Once you drop down and do one, chances are you'll do a few more. And once that becomes a habit, you can build on it. Businesses in Japan thrive on Kaizen. Instead of waiting for the perfect idea or dramatic shifts, they focus on small daily improvements. They analyze their workflow, find small inefficiencies, and make tiny adjustments. Over time, these little tweaks lead to industry-changing innovations. Toyota, one of the most successful companies in the world, applies Kaizen in every area of its operations. Employees are encouraged to find and suggest small ways to improve efficiency. Those small optimizations lead to billions of dollars in success. The same strategy works in your personal life. If you want to be more productive, don't overhaul your entire schedule overnight. Start by setting a 5-minute timer and focusing on one task. If you want to eat healthier, don't cut out everything you love at once. Just add one healthy choice to your meals each day. The key is progress, not perfection. Small, consistent action beats short bursts of motivation every time. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in life is because they assume they already know. They think they've figured things out. They believe they understand how the world works, what they're capable of, and what they can or cannot achieve. But this mindset is a trap. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start dying. In Japan is a concept called Shoshin, which means beginner's mind. It's the practice of approaching life with the same curiosity, openness, and willingness to learn as a child. Imagine watching a child experience something for the first time. They don't judge. They don't assume, they observe, explore, and take in everything with excitement and wonder. This is the mindset that fuels progress. The problem is that most people lose this mindset as they grow older. They develop fixed beliefs about themselves and the world around them. They say, I'm just not good at that, or that's not how things work, or I already know what I need to do. These thoughts become limitations. They shut the door to new possibilities before they even have a chance to appear. Think about how this affects productivity and success. Someone who struggles with focus might tell themselves, I've always been bad at concentrating. I just can't focus for long. But with a beginner's mind, they would ask, what if that's not true? What if I could train myself to focus better? Someone who has never exercised might say, I'm just not a fitness person. But a person with Shoshin would say, what if I approached this with curiosity? What if I just tried something new without expecting to be perfect? Great achievers understand this principle. The best athletes in the world, despite their incredible skill, still work with coaches, practice fundamentals, and seek to learn every day. The most successful entrepreneurs don't assume they have all the answers. They ask better questions. They explore new ideas, challenge their own thinking, and remain students of life. In Japan, martial artists train for decades, but they never stop practicing the basics. A master swordsman still returns to the same basic strikes and movements that a beginner learns on day one. Why? Because mastery isn't about reaching a point where you stop learning. It's about constantly refining, improving, and deepening your understanding. Applying this to everyday life is simple but powerful. Instead of assuming you know, start asking questions. Instead of resisting new information, embrace it with curiosity. Instead of fearing failure, treat every mistake as a lesson. Imagine waking up every day with the mindset that there is always something new to learn. How much faster would you grow? How many more opportunities would you see? How much more exciting would life become? A fixed mindset keeps you stuck. A beginner's mind keeps you expanding. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who think they have all the answers. They are the ones who never stop learning. Most people struggle with motivation because they don't have a compelling reason to take action. They wake up feeling tired, uninspired, and disconnected from their work, their goals, and even their own lives. They push themselves to do things they don't enjoy, chase goals that don't excite them, and wonder why they feel stuck. This is why so many people experience burnout, procrastination, and laziness. It's not because they lack discipline, but because they lack purpose. In Japan, there's a powerful concept called Ikigai, which means reason for being. It's the idea that true fulfillment comes from aligning what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. When you find your Ikigai, you don't need motivation. It pulls you forward. You wake up with excitement, eager to contribute, because your actions have meaning. Most people go through life without ever discovering this. They follow a path they think they should follow, getting a job, making money, doing what's expected. But they never stop to ask, what truly excites me? What impact do I want to make? What work feels meaningful to me? Without answers to these questions, life feels like an endless cycle of obligation instead of inspiration. In Okinawa, one of the places with the highest number of centenarians, people who live over 100 years, they attribute their longevity to having a strong sense of Ikigai. These people wake up every day with purpose, whether it's tending to their garden, teaching younger generations, or simply being a source of wisdom for their community. They don't retire in the way that Western cultures do because their life's work is deeply fulfilling. They never stop having a reason to get up in the morning. Finding your Ikigai isn't about making some dramatic change overnight. It starts with reflection. Ask yourself, what do I love doing so much that time flies by when I do it? What skills or talents do I have that could bring value to others? What does the world need that excites me to contribute? What kind of work would give me both financial stability and fulfillment? When you find the intersection of these four things, you unlock a level of energy and motivation that doesn't fade. Work stops feeling like work. Obstacles don't feel like burdens. They feel like challenges worth facing. Even on tough days, you keep going because you're connected to something bigger than yourself. Some people think passion alone is enough. It's not. Passion without skill leads to frustration. Skill without purpose leads to boredom. Purpose without sustainability leads to burnout. You need all four pieces to create lasting fulfillment. If you feel lazy or unmotivated, it's not a character flaw. It's a sign that you're disconnected from what truly matters to you. The solution isn't to push yourself harder. It's to align your life with something that excites you at your core. When you do, effort becomes effortless and success becomes inevitable. Most people struggle with productivity because they approach work in a way that drains their energy instead of sustaining it. They sit down with a long to-do list, stare at their tasks, and either procrastinate or try to push through for hours without rest. At first, they feel like they're making progress, but soon their focus starts to fade, distractions creep in, fatigue sets in. Before they know it, they've spent hours working, but the actual output is minimal. They end up exhausted, frustrated, and stuck in a cycle of inefficiency. In Japan, productivity isn't about working longer hours, it's about working smarter. The key is structured focus. Instead of forcing themselves to grind endlessly, high performers use a system that maximizes efficiency while preventing burnout. This is where the Pomodoro technique comes in, but with a Japanese twist. The Pomodoro technique is simple. Work for a set period, take a short break, and repeat. Typically, it involves 25 minutes of deep focus, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes is taken to reset the mind. This system works because it aligns with how the brain naturally functions. Studies show that our ability to concentrate starts to decline after about 20-30 minutes, which is why trying to power through for hours at a time leads to diminishing returns. Japanese work culture has refined this approach even further, and in many top companies, employees are trained to fully immerse themselves in a task for a short period with clear, undistracted focus. This is known as time boxing, where a specific block of time is dedicated to a single task. No multitasking, no interruptions, just pure concentration. By setting a clear time limit, the brain is forced into efficiency mode. The result, more gets done in less time, and mental fatigue is drastically reduced. Another key factor is mindful breaks. Most people take breaks the wrong way. They scroll through social media, answer emails, or watch random videos, which overstimulates the brain instead of refreshing it. The Japanese approach is different. Instead of mindless distractions, they use breaks to reset and recharge. A 5-minute walk, deep breathing, stretching, or even sipping tea mindfully helps restore energy and focus. This ensures that when they return to work, they're mentally sharp and ready to perform at their best. Implementing this in daily life is simple. Start by setting a timer for 25 minutes and commit to focusing on one task. No checking your phone, no switching between tasks, just full engagement. Once the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break, but make it intentional. Stand up, move around, take a deep breath in, repeat the cycle. Within just a few sessions, you'll notice how much more you accomplish in a shorter period. This method isn't just about getting more done, it's about sustaining high performance without burnout. By working in focused intervals and taking strategic breaks, productivity skyrockets while stress and fatigue disappear. The result? More progress, less struggle, and a work rhythm that feels natural and effortless. Most people don't realize that laziness is often just mental and physical fatigue disguised as a lack of motivation. When the brain is overloaded, when stress levels are high, and when the body is constantly drained, it's no surprise that people struggle to take action. They feel sluggish, unmotivated, and disconnected. They assume they're just being lazy, but in reality, their internal energy is depleted. The problem isn't a lack of discipline. It's a lack of restoration. In Japan, there is a powerful practice called Shinrin-Yoku, which translates to forest bathing. It is the art of immersing oneself in nature, not for exercise, not to complete a task, but simply to be present and allow nature to restore the mind and body. Studies have proven that spending time in natural environments significantly reduces stress, lowers cortisol levels, improves focus, and boosts overall well-being. The reason? Nature resets the nervous system. It pulls people out of the constant stimulation of modern life and allows the brain to recover from mental fatigue. Many people believe that the only way to increase productivity is to push harder, to force themselves through exhaustion and keep going. But the human brain isn't designed to function at high intensity without rest. Just like a computer slows down when too many tabs are open, the brain becomes sluggish when it's constantly overloaded. Shinrin-Yoku provides a way to clear the mental clutter, reset cognitive function, and regain energy naturally. The practice is simple yet powerful. It doesn't require hiking for miles or going deep into the wilderness. Even 10 to 20 minutes of exposure to nature can have a profound effect. The key is to be fully present. Walking through a park, standing under a tree, listening to birds, feeling the wind. It's about engaging the senses. The sound of rustling leaves, the sight of sunlight filtering through trees, the scent of fresh air. All of these elements work together to calm the nervous system and recharge the mind. In Japan, many successful professionals integrate Shinrin-Yoku into their daily routines. They take short nature walks before or after work, spend their lunch breaks in green spaces, or simply pause for a few moments to observe the natural world around them. These small, intentional moments create a huge impact on focus, creativity, and overall energy levels. The modern world is filled with artificial stimulation, screens, notifications, constant demands for attention. This keeps the brain in a state of chronic stress and mental exhaustion. The result? Lower motivation, weaker focus, and a constant feeling of being drained. By practicing Shinrin-Yoku, people can break free from this cycle and restore their natural energy levels. The next time you feel lazy, unmotivated, or mentally stuck, don't force yourself to push harder. Step outside, take a breath. Let nature do what it does best. Heal, restore, and re-energize. Because when the mind is refreshed, action becomes effortless. The practice of decluttering not just physical spaces, but also the mind and daily life. It is based on the idea that excess, whether it's clutter in your home, distractions in your schedule, or mental baggage, creates resistance. It drains energy, overwhelms the mind, and makes it harder to focus on what truly matters. Look around your environment. Is your workspace messy? Do you have piles of unfinished tasks staring at you? Is your phone constantly buzzing with notifications? All of these things create mental friction, a subtle but powerful force that pulls you away from productivity. When your surroundings are chaotic, your brain has to work harder to filter out distractions, making even simple tasks. This is why so many people struggle to take action, not because they lack motivation, but because their environment is full of invisible obstacles. The practice of Danshari helps eliminate this friction by simplifying everything. It is built on 3 principles. Dan, refusing unnecessary things. Disposing of what no longer serves you. Detaching from material and mental clutter. This isn't just about tidying up. It's about creating an environment that supports action instead of resisting it. In Japanese culture, homes and workplaces are often designed with simplicity and intentionality in mind. Spaces are kept minimal, only containing what is truly necessary. This doesn't just make things look cleaner, it frees up mental energy, reduces decision fatigue, and makes it easier to focus. Applying Danshari in daily life can be transformative. Start with your immediate surroundings, your workspace. Clear off anything that isn't essential. If something isn't helping you focus or be productive, remove it. The goal is to create an environment where the path of least resistance leads to action. If your workspace is cluttered with distractions, your brain has to fight through them every time you sit down to work. But if your space is clean, open, and intentional, your mind naturally follows. Danshari goes beyond just physical spaces. It applies to digital clutter as well. Too many people start their day bombarded by notifications, emails, and social media distractions. This overloads the brain before the day even begins. By removing unnecessary apps, limiting notifications, and organizing digital spaces, it becomes easier to stay focused and productive. Even mental clutter, worries, regrets, and unnecessary obligations can drain energy. The more you simplify, the more freedom you create. When your environment, both physical and mental, is clear and intentional, laziness disappears. Action becomes effortless. Progress becomes natural. Success stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a flow. Everything you need to break free from laziness and unlock your full potential is already within you. These Japanese principles aren't just theories. They are proven systems that have fueled some of the world's most disciplined, successful, and fulfilled people. The power of Kaizen teaches you that small, consistent actions lead to massive transformation. Shoshin reminds you to stay open, curious, and always ready to learn. Ikigai connects you to a deeper purpose, eliminating the need for forced motivation. The Pomodoro technique shows you how to work smarter, not harder, so you stay energized instead of drained. Shinrin-Yoku proves that the right environment can reset your mind, and Hara Hachibu helps you fuel your body for peak performance. But knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. Right now, you have a choice. You can walk away, letting old habits take over, or you can apply just one of these principles today. Start small, build momentum. Create a routine that energizes you instead of exhausts you, because once you take that first step, you'll realize something powerful. You were never lazy. You just needed the right strategy. And now you have it, so take action. Your best life is waiting.